Okay. Debs County Court Law number 2 is back in session. The court is in session with the announcement docket. Next case is cause number M333-834. Case is styled the state of Texas versus Larry Haller.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Haller, how are you doing?
Fine, yourself?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Haller, you're representing your case by your attorney, David Grove. Attorney Grove, how are you doing?
Good, Judge.
State is represented in this case by attorney Eric Porter. Attorney Porter, how are you doing?
Great.
Mr. Grove, what is your announcement in Mr. Haller's case?
Judge, I'd like to ask for one more reset if I could, so we could consider a plea bargain offer that's been made for January, something like that.
Give us a reset date.
January 31st.
Okay, this case is reset to January 31st, 2024. Mr. Haller, your attorney's gonna get your reset. Once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day.
You too, sir.
Thank you. Next case is cause number M33822. Case is styled State of Texas versus Daisy Sam.
Judge, she is in the restroom. She is here still, but I'd also like to ask.
Okay, we're gonna have to have her to come in.
Yes, sir.
We'll just hold, and wait for her to come in.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay. Miss Sam,
Yes,
your full name is Daisy Sam?
yes, sir.
How you doing, Miss Sam?
I'm okay.
That's good, Miss Sam. You're represented in your case by your attorney, Attorney David Grove. Attorney Grove, what is your announcement in Mrs. Sam's case?
We'd like to set Miss Sam's case for trial, Judge.
Okay, give us a trial date. Reset. Give us a reset date.
It'll be January 22nd.
January 22nd? Okay. Okay, your case, Miss Sam, is reset to January 22nd, 2024. Your attorney's gonna get your reset. Once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day.
Yes, sir.
Just wait for me outside.
Okay,
Thank you, Judge.
you're welcome.
Let me get it.
Okay. Where's my, oh, here it is. What is in session in two cases? These cases are consolidated. Cases are cause number 332-608 and cause number 332-610. Both cases are styled the state of Texas versus a sudden surprise Stevens. We have Ms. Stevens who's present in court. Ms. Stevens, would you please raise your right hand? Ms. Stevens, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Ms. Stevens, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Ms. Stevens? Yes, I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Now, Ms. Stevens, you're represented in your case by your attorney, Bruce Cobb. Attorney Cobb, how are you doing? That's good. Now, state is represented in this case by attorney Andrew Huber. Attorney Huber, how are you doing?
Okay, well, Judge.
Okay. And now this case was tried by Mr. Cobb and Ms. Erica Porter, Assistant Criminal District Attorney. Ms. Stevens was found guilty by the jury, and the case was reset for a pre-sentence investigation report, which is a PSI. Mr. Cobb, have you received a copy of that PSI?
Yes, Your Honor, I did go over it with the defendant.
Now, Mr. Cobb, do you have any objections to this PSI, or are there any amendments that you would like to be made to this PSI?
Well, the only thing I have some, I read Pamela Hawthorne's version, my recollection,
Oh, I mean, other than the version,
what she said in court. And my cross-examination.
I think what
See that, when I cross-examined, that woman's testimony was under oath. And she told the PSI officer is not. But here's what I want to argue. Since she's been found guilty by the jury, instead, what I would go, they did a TRAS screener and said that she.
no. That's what I'm saying. I had only one question.
Right.
Did you review the pre-sentence investigation
I did.
report, and do you have any amendments that need to be made? Like if there's something that's
Not really that I saw.
okay.
I had some questions about it because I don't understand what a moral recognition therapy program is.
Okay.
Or to understand. And the only thing I could say,
So you have any amendments that need to be made
to the
to the PSI? Right. That's all I'm asking right now.
Not really, Your Honor.
Okay. Now, Mr. Hubel, have you had an opportunity to review the pre-sentence investigation report?
Yes, Your Honor.
And do you have any amendments or additions or deletions that need to be made to this?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. And so the court has reviewed the pre-sentence investigation report as well. The court will take judicial notice of this pre-sentence investigation report.
Right.
Now, at this point, this is a punishment hearing. And Mr. Cobb and Mr. Hubel, you'll have an opportunity to make any arguments that you would like to make in reference to this punishment hearing, or if you had some evidence to present, you could, you know what? Before we go any further, we need to get a court reporter.
Yeah, because she has
Yeah.
an allocution.
Can we get our court reporter? Phelps County Court at Law number 2 is back in session. The court is in session in 2 cases, cause numbers M332608 and cause number M332610. Both cases were consolidated and both cases are styled the state of Texas versus Sudden Surprise Stevens. We have Ms. Stevens, who is present in court with her attorney. Ms. Stevens has been sworn in, is that correct? Ms. Stevens?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Cobb, this case was tried before a jury. Jury found Ms. Stevens guilty, and this case was reset for sentencing on today. And I have before me a pre-sentence investigation report, commonly referred to as a PSI. Mr. Cobb, have you had an opportunity to review that PSI?
I did, Your Honor.
And do you have any additions or deletions, objections to this pre-sentence investigation report?
Other than what the complaining witness told the PSI officer.
Okay.
I don't really, I think it's very significant that the law enforcement didn't say, officers didn't say anything on it to the PSI pre-sentence.
Okay, I mean, the
I'll just
victim,
go ahead and.
the victim only
state that.
stated that I would like to see the defendant go to do jail time, and I feared for my life during that situation, could have been shot had the police not come in the area when they did. She literally walked up to my vehicle and pointed a weapon at me. I thank God I didn't have my grandbaby with me. And so you saying you have a objection to that?
Well.
That's all she said
Yeah, but
in the
there
PSI.
was a lot of things she did not say in.
No, no,
trial.
I'm just
said-
asking you, do you have any objections to this PSI?
No, not to the PSI, but to
Okay.
the statement. That's all.
Okay. Now, Mr. Hubert, have you received a copy of the pre-sentence investigation report?
Yes, Your Honor.
Have you had an opportunity to review this report?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have any objections or additions or deletions to this pre-sentence investigation report?
No, Your Honor.
And so the court has received a copy of the pre-sentence investigation report. The court will take judicial notice of this pre-sentence investigation report. Now, at this time, does anybody have any evidence that you like to present during the hearing, or will it just be arguments?
I think I'd like to have her testimony on record. She had some things that she wanted to say to the court, and I was gonna go. ahead
About-
and-
Okay, she'd like to make a statement to the court.
Would you like to make a statement to the court?
About which one?
Well, about your situation, and you had a recent surgery and the problem with certain.
Okay, I think that's in the PSI report. Yeah,
Yes.
gastric bypass.
Right,
That's what you're talking about?
right. And I think there's a lot more to it, her being a single mother. You don't work, do you?
No, I'm gonna go to school.
You're gonna try to go to school if you can?
Could you speak up? She's taking a record.
I'm gonna go sign into CDL school. I'm in the process of going.
Okay. Without anything else?
You do, are you the sole support for your children?
Yes, sir.
And I think the PSI report said you had 3 children.
Yes, yes, sir.
Do you receive support any way except for what you receive from the government?
No, sir, I lost my husband in March. Ain't nobody, they don't have a father figure, anybody. I'm the head support.
And is that something you want the court to consider?
Yes, sir.
Do you have anything about what you would want the court to do or consider? Anything else? Would you want the court to give you probation?
No, sir.
Okay. And what can you do as far as weighing the fine?
Community service. Once I fully recover, I would just need more time to recover from the surgery.
When did she have surgery?
I had
Recent.
surgery on- I had
October.
surgery on October 11th, but the recovery time is 9 weeks.
Okay.
Do
You have anything else?
Nothing else, Your Honor. Yes, take that in consideration.
Do you have any argument that you would like to make?
Yes,
Thank
Your
you.
Honor, we'd like to go ahead and ask that this court sentence her to probation and also that to make the any fine or community service a lower fine, community service and reasonable. I think the 80 hours probably is fair. The only thing is, since there are two offenses, I'd like to run concurrent as opposed to consecutive here. Concurrence. Because we have two offenses, correct, and consolidated for trial. So I just want the sentences to run concurrent here.
Okay. Is that it?
That's
I mean,
pretty-
okay. Now, state, what are you recommending?
So am I able to make an argument?
Yes, yeah, you can make an order.
Okay. So I think the most important thing that stands out from this PSI is the fact that the defendant in this case still does not accept responsibility for her actions. She committed a violent act against this woman and still claims that she was not the aggressor in this case. In fact, it came out in trial that she did everything that she could to hide her guilt in this case, even going as far as to give her firearm to her young child that she was claiming she was trying to protect in order for that child to hide the evidence. So with that in mind, the state is asking in this case for, in addition to a probation, 15 days upfront jail time. Now, for the conditions of probation, we'll leave the fine up to the court. We're asking for 180 days probated over 1 year. The 80 hours community service that was recommended by probation, in addition to the requirement of doing a moral recognition therapy program, and adherence to referral for mental health services. And of course, given the nature of this case, to have no contact with the complaining witness, Pamela Hawthorne.
Your Honor, I'd like the court to consider that this was a very contested, factually contested case. Very close case too, as far as the facts. There were some things that weighed, but there are also some things that weighed against the complaining witness, as well as my client, I believe, was trying to protect her children. She had two children in the back. Whatever difficulty they had, whatever road rage that happened, whether you believe her or not, and believe, of course, the jury decided against her, but she did testify. Her daughter testified, and I cross-examined them. I even got some admissions from the law enforcement officers too, Your Honor. I don't believe it justifies 15 days. What's going to happen to her children if she has to go to jail for 15 days?
Okay, let me ask something. The weapon, did the police department seize the weapon? There wasn't a weapon. Okay.
No.
And if I could respond to what Mr. Cobb said.
Yeah, you can respond.
I just want to reiterate that defense claiming that the defendant wanted to protect the child, but it came out in the case that she gave this young child a firearm, which is inherently putting her in danger. And also wanted to point out that the jury came to unanimous verdict on the case. So they made the decision and found her guilty.
Okay. Now, is that it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Now, the court sit through the entire trial, so the court has knowledge of the testimony that was given in the case by both sides.
Yes.
Okay. And so now in the PSI, the court is well aware of Ms. Sutton's criminal history.
Right.
Okay. And
You've never been convicted of a felony?
well,
Charges.
I understand that.
Right.
I understand that. And I understand that she had what is called deferred adjudication.
Right.
Deferred adjudicated probation, which was not a conviction, and she completed it. I understand that.
Right.
Now, she also had a deferred on a misdemeanor. She
Right.
completed, but she had also had one that was revoked, and another one she was given 16 days
Yes.
jail. All right. Now, given the court is well aware of the number of children that she have, a financial situation,
Mhm.
the mental problems that she may have, that at least that has been expressed in this particular case. And I would imagine, based on the fact that she does receive what is called disability,
Right.
starting from the age of 10, I would imagine that had something to do with her mental abilities. I'm not too sure about that. Do you know why she started receiving it? Well, maybe she had a parent or somebody that died, and maybe she started receiving some SSI or something like that.
Well, I think the PSI report says that she was injured in 2002 initially. And
Okay.
she's had more than one accident. Had you had more than one accident in 2002? When did you have another accident or so?
I had quite a few
Accidents?
accidents.
Well, it was 2000. Yeah, that'll put it right at about when she started getting this disability back at when she was 10 years old.
Okay.
Yeah, because at her age now, take 20 years off of that, that'll be 11. Take 21 years off of that, that'll be 10. So, okay. So, both the state and the defense is asking that the court give you probation. State asks for 180 days. Defense didn't ask for a specific time. The court, given the fact that you have this criminal history, okay, so the court is going to give you probation of 180 days, probated for we're gonna do 2 years probation. Okay. Okay. And the 2 years probation, the reason why we're looking at that is because we're going to give you a chance to complete some of the things that you're required to do on probation. Okay. So, you're currently unemployed, is that correct?
Mhm.
And you were appointed on the case?
Yes,
Is that
Your Honor,
correct?
I was appointed.
And so she has previously been found to be indigent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. What did you say?
I can't put, but I'm still paying on my loan.
You still paying on your bond? That's what you said? Yeah, okay. What we're gonna do, what I'm at least, I'm gonna have to find out what her community service is. I mean, what her court cost is. The fine. $200 in the past, $400 in the past. Okay, it's gonna be a $500 fine plus court costs. Could you tell me what the? Oh, you know what? I might be able to find this. Old. I can find this.
Sure.
Yeah, I should be able.
Know if you can.
I should be able to find it in here.
Okay, yes, sir.
Let me get this here. I should be able to find out what the court cost is. Sutton Stevens. Here we go. Ms. Stevens. In one case, your court cost is $292. That's in the case where it's cause number M332608. And so
Can those costs be run concurrent?
just hold on, I hadn't got to the other one yet. Okay, so this is 500 plus 292. Okay, 799. Okay, so that'll be. I'm gonna convert your fine and court costs to community service. Okay, so you won't have to pay it. So I'm gonna convert it to 63 hours of community service. Okay. Now, your probation fee is going to be reduced to the statutory minimum of $25 a month instead of $60 a month. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Now, the state is also recommending that you perform, well, your attorney actually recommended you perform 80 hours of community service. So the community services are going to be combined. So it'll be a total of 143 hours of community service. Now you cannot.
You can't run concurrent, Your Honor?
Well, we hadn't got to the second case. I'm just on the first case.
No.
And now, also in this case, there are conditions that are in the pre-sentence investigation report. And that is, obviously, you have 80 hours of community service. You're going to have a curfew from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. You cannot possess a firearm. Or you cannot own or possess a firearm or any ammunition. And you will complete the moral recognition therapy program and pay associated costs. You cannot have any contact with the victim in this case, Pamela Hawthorne, and you would adhere to a referral for mental health services by the probation department, and you will provide the supervision office documentation of your disability benefits award and current disability rating. Okay? And the other thing is, court is gonna order forfeiture of the weapon because the court finds that the circumstances surrounding the commission of the offense, that the possession of the seized weapon will pose a threat to the community or one or more individuals. So the weapon is gonna be forfeited. What police department is this? Was it the Beaumont, to the Beaumont Police Department? Now, in reference to the jail time, the court is gonna order 30 days jail. However, the court is gonna hold that jail time in abeyance, which means that you will not be going to jail. However, if you violate your probation, then the court can order that you sit out the jail time. Do you understand?
Yes.
Yeah. And on the next case, cause number M332610, still be 180 days. Now, these cases are going to be running concurrent. And if you can explain that to your client, won't you?
Yes, sure.
There will be no fine. However, there is court costs. And the court cost is, that court cost is going to be converted to community service. And the court costs in this case is caused, in this case, it's $297. And now the court costs that's going to be 24 hours of community service. And again, in this case, that'll be in addition to the 80 hours of community service, which is 104 hours total of community service. Now, again, jail time is going to have the same conditions. Let me make sure. Let me see. The first one was the abeyance. And you're going to have the same conditions as I mentioned in the other case, with the 8 hours of community service, curfew from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. You cannot own or possess a firearm ammunition, attend the moral recognition therapy, and then no contact with the victim, Pamela Hawthorne. Well, in the unlawful carrying a weapon case, which one is unlawful carrying a weapon?
Is it the second one you're on?
So I don't need a no contact in that one. if it's the second.
Yes, Your Honor. The unlawful carrying is 332610.
Okay, so it's no, I don't need a no contact in that one. It's in the previous case. And you attend the mental health services and comply with the recommendations. And again, you have to provide the supervising officer documentation of disability and benefits awarded and current disability rate. Okay. And let's do this here. I'll just change it. In the previous case, the forfeiture of the weapon will be on this case, because the unlawfully carrying a weapon case, not the previous case. Okay. And that is the order of the court. And as I mentioned, the jail time is held in advance. 30 days will be held in advance. All right.
Your Honor, on the two community services.
They run
one-
concurrent.
Right,
They run
so that
concurrent.
means-
Now, another thing, yeah, they will run concurrent. All right. So Ms. Sutton, just the court have, like I said, the court have read the pre-sentence investigation report, the facts of this case. The court is aware of that. The reason and the rationale for probation by the state and the defense is to give you an opportunity to change your route to rehabilitate. Now, I do know one thing. I don't know all of your children, but I do know that the child that was here is highly intelligent. Okay, that just anybody could have seen that the way because of the way she spoke. Okay, God bless you with some children. I know you stated that you're a single parent. There's no one is helping you to take care of you. You say you lost your parents, you lost your mom. You have my condolences on that. But hopefully this is a wake-up call for you. And hopefully you can turn your life around. I know that you're saying that you're making an effort. You stated that you're going to be getting some job training. Is that correct? You want to get your CDL?
Yes,
Is that correct?
yes, sir.
All right. So we hope that you're successful at getting or achieving the goals that you have planned. Okay. So at this time, Ms. Sutton, you can just have a seat, going to prepare the judgment. Once we prepare the judgment, we're going to ask you to come up before the court clerk, and the clerk is going to prepare the judgment. And once the judgment is prepared, you'll be free to go, and you have a blessed day.
Thank you.
Okay. And Mr. Cobb, you'll be free to go as well.
Yes, sir.
Okay. 77?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. This is cause number 23CCCR0422, case is styled the state of Texas versus Thomas Warren Dunnington. Mr. Dunnington, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Dunnington, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Dunnington, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Dunnington, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr.
I'm
Dunnington?
doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for being patient with us. Now, Mr. Dunnington, you represented by your attorney, Attorney Jack Lawrence. Attorney Lawrence, how are you doing?
Just fine, Your Honor.
That's good. Now, Mr. Lawrence, I don't think we need her in it. I would just think we didn't need you in it.
Okay.
Do you waive a record in this case?
Yes, Your Honor, that's fine with us. I would note that the reason this is a Class A, just for your knowledge, the reason this is a Class A is because it was over 0.15, and that's
Okay.
the only reason that
Okay.
is a Class A.
Okay. Now, Mr. Dunnington, I have before me a document that is titled, excuse me, that is titled information. This information, this information was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information, Mr. Dunnington, it alleges that you, Thomas Warren Dunnington, on or about February 13 of 2023, while you were operating a motor vehicle in a public place in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated with an alcohol concentration level of 0.15 or more. Mr. Dunnington, do you understand what you have been charged with?
Yes, Your Honor.
And to this charge, Mr. Dunnington, how did you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
Now, are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes, Your Honor.
And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Dunnington, I have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. You recognize this document?
Yes.
On page 2 of this same document, which is also states exhibit number 1, there's a set of initials TD on the line next to the boxes checked no contingent, which means no contest.
Yes.
Did you place your initials on this document?
Yes, Your Honor.
On page 3 of this same document, there's a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Is this your signature?
Yes, Your Honor.
And on the next document that's titled trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal, do you recognize this document?
Yes, Your Honor.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, Your Honor.
At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes that's checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes, Your Honor.
The second box that's checked states that you are waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes, Your Honor.
I also have before me a document that is titled Discovery Certification. Recognize this document? And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, Mr. Dunnington, before you sign and initial these documents, did your attorney, Mr. Lawrence, go over these documents with you?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you read and understand everything that Mr. Lawrence went over?
Yes, Your Honor.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Dunnington, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes.
State.
Louisiana.
No,
Oh, my.
I was calling it, when I say state, I was referring to the state.
You asked me where.
No, what state? No, I was referring to Mr. Huber. I say state. Do you, I lost my train of thought now. State.
States act.
Do you have any exhibits that you like to offer?
Yes, Your Honor. States exhibit A.
States exhibit A, states exhibit number 1?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections?
None, Your Honor.
Okay.
Got me on A's now.
Yeah. No objections. States exhibit number 1 will be admitted. And Mr. Lawrence, you advised and counseled Mr. Dunnington. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
None, Your Honor.
Mr. Dunnington, your attorney, Mr. Lawrence, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, Your Honor.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Dunnington, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
What is that agreement?
That agreement is to believe the state's offer 180 days probated for 1 year,
1 year.
a $600 fine,
600 fine,
60 hours community service,
60 community service,
an interlock device,
interlock,
and DWI first stand conditions.
DWI, okay. DWI ed, assessment. Okay. Mr. Lawrence, not Mr. Lawrence, Mr. Dunnington. Let's see, what's that? That fine is 600?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. This 1 year, 7. Mr. Lawrence, are you court appointed in this case?
Yes, I am.
Okay, that's 250. Okay, now, Mr. Dunnington, the state is offering that you serve 180 days in the Jefferson County Jail. However, you will not have to serve any time in the Jefferson County Jail on this case because you'll be placed on probation for 1 year. During that 1 year probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $600 plus court costs of $377. You'll be required to pay a probation fee of $60 a month and a urinalysis fee of $15 a month. You'll be required to pay the reimbursement fee of $15, and you'll be required to reimburse Jefferson County court-appointed attorney's fees of $250. The total monthly installments that you will be required to pay each month is $195 a month. Will you be able to pay the $195 each month?
Yes, Your Honor.
You'll also be required to pay the Jefferson County DWI education and initial evaluation fee on the day of the plea should a further evaluation be needed. You'll be required to pay an additional $50. Now, you'll be required to perform 60 hours of community service. You'll be required to install an interlock device on any vehicle that you own or operate. You are required to attend and complete a DWI education class, have a drug and alcohol assessment, and you would be required to adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of DWI probation. Now, Mr. Dunnington, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, Your Honor.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Dunnington, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Dunnington, you're going to stand next to your attorney, follow the directions of the clerk. Once you finish following the directions of the clerk, you'll be free to go on your own blessed day.
Yes, Your Honor. You too.
You're welcome.
I'm gonna use your signature here and here, and then the right thumb here, and then complete make sure that I'm granting stuff. On the sudden, is she guilty or no?
She was found guilty by jury.
And then you're- And this is the one you're going to the program.
Our conference is the
And
one.
how did the hours that cannot enter?
One, yeah.
It's okay, I've highlighted the hours of your close.
Probation department. I'll show you how to get here. Right from the beginning.
Omarion Kenya Jones. Court is in session and calls numbers 23 CCCR 1372 and calls number 23 CCR 1374. Both cases are styled the state of Texas versus Amyron Kenya Jones. Mr. Jones, is that your full name? Mr. Jones, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Jones, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Jones, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Jones? Oh, I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Jones, you're represented in your cases by your attorney, Attorney Jack Lawrence. Attorney Lawrence, do you waive a record in Mr. Jones' cases?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Mr. Jones, in cause number 23 CCCR 1372, I have before me an information sheet. This information sheet was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information sheet, Mr. Jones, it alleges that you, Amyron Kenya Jones, on or about July, hold on a minute, on or about July 2nd of 2023, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of assault, family violence. Mr. Jones, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, Mr. Jones, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? No contest. Now you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges? Mr. Jones, I also have before me a document that is, hold on a minute. Okay, I also have before me, Mr. Jones, a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of this document, which is also states exhibit number 1, there are set of initials OJ on the line next to a box that's checked no contingent, which means no contest. Did you place your initials on this document?
Yes, sir.
I also have before me a document that is titled trial court. On the 3rd page of the same document, there's a signature above the line that's titled defendant. Is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
Now, on the next document, this document is titled trial court certification defense right of appeal. You recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes that's checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes, sir.
Second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes, sir.
I also have before me a document on paper that is titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant? Now, Mr. Jones, before you signed and initial all of these documents that I just showed you, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything that he went over?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge? Mr. Jones, are you a citizen of the United States? State, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1. State, you like to offer States 1?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections?
Let me examine it if I can, Your Honor.
It's on the tablet. That's the document that you went over with your client.
All right. Yes, no objection.
Okay. No objection. State's Exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Lawrence, you advised in counsel, Mr. Jones, is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
None, Your Honor.
And Mr. Jones, your attorney, Mr. Lawrence, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation? On the one we just did with Dunnington. Well, on the tablet, I did. Oh, yeah, okay, well, I need to look at it then, okay. All right, thanks. Okay, now, Mr. Jones, your attorney, Mr. Lawrence, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation? Somebody have a phone on?
That's his.
Whose phone?
Who? It gotta be Lawrence's, cause it keeps going up and somewhere over there. That's right.
Oh, that's you?
No, it's over here somewhere.
Is it the computer?
No,
It might be the,
it's going off, but it
Our phone's off.
I didn't say it.
it might be the computer.
That's what I'm thinking, cause it's right here.
Okay, yeah,
It's right here.
okay. So, Mr. Jones,
Yes, sir.
I'm going to accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you're mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers was freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
The agreement is the plea that the state's offer of 1 year deferred probation,
1 year deferred. Okay,
$500 fine,
$500 fine. Let's go to those.
60 hours community service,
$60. Sure. Okay.
and the fine is with court costs, but,
Okay.
and no contact with the complaining witness, Kiera Thomas.
No contact. Kiera Thomas.
And the offer in this case is to run concurrent with the next.
And that's CC with, is that cause number 23 CCCR 1374?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Let me see what the, what is his court cost? Do you know? 277.
Yes.
And now this, you appointed in this case, Mr.?
Yes, yes, I am.
Okay, it'll be 250 in this one. Okay, so that's one equal. Okay, now, Mr. Jones, the state is offering that you serve 1 year deferred adjudicated probation. During this 1 year probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $500 plus court costs of $277. You'll be required to pay a probation fee of $60 a month. A year analysis of $15 a month. You'll be required to pay a reimbursement fee of $15. And you'll be required to reimburse Jefferson County Court appointed attorney's fees of $250. Now, your total monthly installments, that is the total amount that you'll be required to pay each month, is $177 a month. Will you be able to pay the $177 each month? Now, you'll also be required to perform 60 hours of community service. You cannot have any contact with Kiera Thomas, the complaining witness. And this case will run concurrent with cause number 23 CCCR 1374. Now, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes,
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just? And do you accept the state's offer? Okay, Mr. Jones, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Next case is cause number 23CCCR 1374. Case is styled the state of Texas versus Myron Kenya Jones. Mr. Jones. In this case, Mr. Jones, I have an information sheet that was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. And in this information sheet, Mr. Jones, it alleges that you, Myron Kenya Jones, on or about March 10th of 2023, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of criminal trespass and a habitation. Mr. Jones, do you understand what you've been charged with? And to this charge, Mr. Jones, how do you plead guilty, not guilty, or no contest? No contest? Now, you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily? And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges? Ms. Jones, Mr. Jones, I also have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. It is also labeled as State's Exhibit number 1. Do you, okay, Mr. Treasurer, you're gonna have to, you have it as a Class B, it's a Class A, it's a criminal trespass and habitation. It's a Class A.
Oh, would you like me to change that?
Yes. Okay, now, Mr. Jones, I have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
On page, now this document, Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments, this is also a Class A misdemeanor. And the range of punishment is confinement in jail for a term not to exceed 365 days, which is a year, and a fine not to exceed $4,000, or you can be given both such fine and confinement. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of the same document, there are set of initials OJ on the line next to boxes checked no contingent, which means no contest. Did you place your initials on this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 3 of the same document, there's a signature above the line that's titled defendant. Is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
And on the next document, that's titled Trial Court Certification to Defendant's Right of Appeal, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes that's checked. The first box that's checked states that there's a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that? The second box that's checked states that you are waiving your right to an appeal, which means you are giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
And is this your, and this next document is trial court certificate, is the discovery certification. And do you recognize this document? And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant? Now, before you sign and initial these documents, did your attorney, Mr. Lawrence, go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
So,
State, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1. State, you like to offer State's 1?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections?
None, Your Honor.
No objection. State's Exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Lawrence, you advise and counsel Mr. Jones in this case, is there any evidence that he's currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
Oh, none at all, Your Honor.
And Mr. Jones, the state it was your attorney, Mr. Lawrence is advising counsel in this case. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided fully effective and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Jones, I'll accept your plea of no contest. I'll find that you, in any competent trial, I'll also find that your plea and waivers freely voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
What is that agreement?
That agreement is to basically the state's offer of 1 year deferred probation, $250 fine.
Okay,
No, the community service on this case is waived.
okay,
And this case is to run concurrent with the previous case.
Yes.
okay. Hmm?
But I showed 1372.
You said 1372.
On 1372 is where the community service hours zeroed out.
Oh,
Did it change?
Did it get mixed up?
yeah, you
Yeah.
said,
So is it showing?
you said zero, you said 60 hours on the first case.
Is it showing 60 on 1374?
It's showing, I have 50, it's 60.
Who put the,
We redid that. It's 60 on only that one case. The other one is 0.
Did y'all resubmit it again?
I,
no, okay, let's do this here. It's gonna be 60 hours on one of the cases, right?
yes, Your Honor.
So,
State,
so the first case, we said it was 60, right? And we do that? So it, no, no. Because we could leave a 60 on that case, and on this case, he just have to change the MPA to 0.
Yeah,
Because they got 50 on this one.
1374 is 0.
Well, it's gonna be,
so do we,
Most of the paperwork submitted that I have,
This
started,
says-
that what this is the part.
We revised.
This case is.
Okay, y'all need to let me know when y'all decide. Yeah.
oh, y'all did?
so would I need to also make alterations to the previous document?
So let me ask you this. Which one we need to have 60 on?
It's at
1372.
So
So 1372 needs to read 60. Okay, so then let me retype that one. And then.
And then the other one's gonna be 0,
74 is gonna be 0.
right? And that's what we have open up right now.
On certification, I don't need to send it to the prosecutor. I still have to punch that green button.
That
And-
sort of, yeah, it'll go to them, but they'll just send it back to me, to her. You make sure it's filled out. You're talking about the trial court certification, the defendant's right of appeal? Right.
Judge, would you want me to make that change to 1372 to reflect the?
Well, what I'll do is, when I finish this, I can go back in and I'll give it to you.
Yes, I heard, yes, thank you.
Okay, so, on this case, state, is there a plea bargain agreement in, clause number 23CCCR 1374?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
1 year deferred probation,
Okay,
$250 fine,
okay,
community service hours waived. And
community service, okay, no community service, okay.
this case is to run concurrent with the previous case.
Yes.
CC with,
You have to fill out her mailing address too.
you gotta fill out that whole, whatever they're asking you for. If it's an address on you, that has to be filled out. Okay, now the court calls
They're at 277.
277. Okay. Now, Mr. Let me see. And then that's gonna be the $50 for the attorney fee.
$50.
That's correct. That's correct.
Okay. Okay, here we go. Fourteen, two.
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay, now, Mr. Jones, the state is offering that you serve 1 year deferred adjudicated probation. During this 1 year probationary period, you're required to pay a fine, $250 plus court costs of $277. You'll also be required to pay a probation fee of $60 each month, you're now to $15 each month, $15 reimbursement fee, and $50 court-appointed attorney's fees. Now, the total amount of installments with all of that I just said is $136. However, because you're already on probation and because you're on the probation fee, you won't be paying twice. You're going to be paying it once. And then the urinalysis fee, you're not going to be paying it twice. You're going to be paying it once. And so your total monthly installments, instead of being $136 a month, it's going to be $61 a month. Will you be able to pay the $61 each month?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, you'll also be, this case will run concurrent with cause number 23CCCR 1372. And now, Mr. Jones, do you understand the state's offer? Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
I do.
Okay, Mr. Jones, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Now, Mr. Jones, if you successfully complete this probationary period, these cases will not result in a conviction on your record. They will be dismissed, and you may qualify for a non-disclosure. You can talk to your attorney, Mr. Lawrence, about a non-disclosure because he's quite competent in those matters. Now, Mr. Lawrence has handed you a document that is titled Model Written Ammunition or Ineligible to Possess a Firearm Ammunition. So in accordance with the Texas Administrative Code, Section 176.1, the court hereby admonishes you or warns you of the following. Number one, you are by entry or order or judgment ineligible under Texas law to possess a firearm or ammunition. Number two, beginning now, if you possess a firearm or ammunition, it could lead to charges against you. If you have questions about how long you will be ineligible to possess a firearm or ammunition, you should consult an attorney. Number three, under Texas Penal Code Section 46.013, a firearms means any device designed, made, or adapted to expel a projectile through a barrel by using the energy generated by burning, by an explosion or burning substance, or any device relatively convertible to that use. B, firearm does not include a firearm that may have as an integral part a folding knife blade or other characteristics of weapons made illegal by Penal Code Chapter 46, and that is one, an antique or carrier firearm manufactured before 1899, or two, a replica of an antique or carrier firearm manufactured before 1899, but only if the replica does not use rimfire or centerfire ammunition. The statutes listed below are starting point for ineligibility to possess a firearm or ammunition. For more information about the laws that make you ineligible to possess a firearm or ammunition, or for more information about how long you're ineligible to possess a firearm or ammunition lasts, the court recommends that you contact an attorney. Code of Criminal Procedure Article 40, Code of Criminal Procedure Article 17.292, Magistrate's Order for Emergency Protection. Code of Criminal Procedure Article 42.0131, Notice of a person convicted of misdemeanors involving family violence. Penal Code Section 46.02, unlawful carrying weapons. Penal Code Section 46.04, unlawful possession of firearm. Penal Code Section 25.07, violation of certain court orders or conditions of bond in a family violence. Child abuse and neglect, sexual assault or abuse, inducing assault, stalking, or trafficking case. Family Code Section 85 5.026, warning on protective order. Now, Mr. Jones, this model written admonition that was given to you is for your records. Please keep that for your records. You're gonna stand on the X next to your attorney, follow the directions of the clerk. Once you follow the directions of the clerk, you're free to go, and you have a blessed day.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You are Okay, the court is in session and calls number M332608. Court just had a sentencing hearing on it, and then Ms. Stevens, I have before me a document that is titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal. Ms. Stevens, do you recognize this document?
Yes,
And now, Ms. Stevens, you was previously sworn as well. Is that correct?
yes, sir.
Is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
At the top of this document, there's one box that's checked. This box states that this is not a plea bargain case, and you have the right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Now, before you sign this document, did your attorney go over this document with you?
Yes, sir.
Did you read and understand everything in this document?
Yes,
And is everything in this document true and correct
yes,
to
sir.
the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm signing this document. I also have before me a document in the next case that's titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal. And in that case, that's cause number M332610. And in this document, do you recognize this trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
At the top of this document, there's one box that's checked, and the box that's checked said this is not a plea bargain case, and the defendant has the right to appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Now, before you sign this document, did your attorney go over this document with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything in this document?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in this document true and correct
Yes,
to the best of your knowledge? Okay, Ms. Stevens, just have a seat. And when our clerk is ready for you, she's gonna ask you to come up to her window.
We'll sign, try to figure out what days.
Yes, we
Trying to
probably,
remember that.
but
It wasn't last month, it was this month, right?
the trial,
It was this month, yeah.
this month, this is the first day of the month. Today is the first.
Yeah, so October, I'm talking about last month, October. I don't think it says it on the.
Let's see.